Today, I will be changing out this 4-inch automatic blast gate from IVAC Systems to a 6-inch automatic blast gate with 5-inch bushings and new candlestick. As you can see, my planer has a 5-inch discharge on the dust collection, and I have a 5-inch dust collection pipe, but it's currently reduced down to accept this 4-inch bushing. Upgrading to the 6-inch blast gate with the 5-inch bushings will make the dust collection work much more efficient. Here are the components that we'll be installing today. We have the IVAC Tool Advantage Automated Dust Collection Control. So let's open this one up. Transformer, they're powered by low voltage. Then the IVAC Pro Tool Advantage. This will be what controls the blast gate and turns the dust collection on and talks to the rest of the blast gates that are in the system. Since my planer has a 5-inch discharge for the dust chute and my dust collection has a 5-inch pipe, we're going to be utilizing the 6-inch blast gate from IVAC. But to use it with the 5-inch, we'll have to use these flanges. These are flange adapters that go on the 6-inch gate. Appear to be all aluminum, very nicely machined and formed. Next we have the IVAC Candlestick sensor. These will mount on the blast gate or the ductwork, wherever you choose, and it gives you a visual indication of the position of the blast gate, whether it's open or closed, indicated by a green or red LED light. Let's take a look at that. Again, a transformer for power. You have two magnetic stick-on pads which trigger the switches, which are on the end of the green and red wires. These will go opposite of each other on the blast gate, and that's what will trigger the position of the blast gate. So that wire is about 3 feet long. Then the LED wire is about 24 inches, and then the cable I think is another 4 foot. So you have plenty of wiring to pretty much adapt to any installation that you may need. And then finally, the last thing we'll be installing today will be the 6-inch metal dust collection blast gate. User's guide. Power adapter and transformer. And then 6-inch automatic blast gate. As you can see, it's got indicating windows here for closed, and then this side would be green when opened. But since we're going to be utilizing the candlesticks, these aren't necessary for our installation. Also, we'll be going over the dip switches and how to set them. It's really simple. Now we're going to change out the bushings. That's pretty neat. That stud is threaded in there so that it doesn't turn. And it lets the lock nut come right off. Just that simple. Took about 3 minutes. Okay, we're going to go over setting up the dip switches. I was a little bit intimidated at first, but once I figured the first one out, it really was quite simple. The first thing you got to do is you're going to go to this chart here, and you need to address it for what switch you're going to be connecting to, because you can have multiple switches for more than 8. I'm going to be going to system address A, which means S1 and S2 both need to be in the off position. So let's look at the dip switches now. Hard to see it, but as you can see right here, S1, S2 are in the off position from the factory. Okay, now let's look at S3. S3 on the blast gate is the delay time to open. So S3 on the blast gate needs to be set for 2 seconds, so that needs to be in the on position. So let's get on S3. I don't know how well you can see it there, it's really dark in there, but S3 needs to be on. That's the time delay to open for tool address 1. This is only for tool address 1. Okay? So now we have to decide what tool this is going to be. This is going to be replacing tool number 1. So you want to look, tool address number 1. So S4 is on, S5 and S6 would be off. So we're going to go on, off, off. Okay, now we're going to do S4, S5, and S6. Since this is tool address number 1, S4 needs to be in the on position. S5, S6, 5, 6 need to be in the off position. Again, this is to address this as tool number 1. S4 needs to be in the on position, S5 in the off position, S6 in the off position. Okay, in summary, S1, S2 is to identify the system address. In this installation, our system address is A. Next was S3. On all your other blast gates, S3 is going to be in the off position also, but since this is tool number 1, we want it to remain in the always open position, so that would be a 2-second time delay. So in the book, it tells you to turn this one off because that's on the standard gates, but since this is number 1, we want S3 to be in the on position. Okay, And then 4, 5, and 6 is where you get your tool address. And since this is tool address number 1, we want to be on, off, off. Okay, now it's time to install the candlesticks. So you need to decide which way you're going to orient this in your dust collection system on the piping so that you can figure out which is going to be the best way to run the wires. So I want my wires to be on the back side. So I have it in the open position as indicated in the green window here. So I'm going to stand it up on my edge. I'm going to take the green lead and just lay it against the gate here. Then I'm going to find the best place to put the trigger on the other side. So I want to test it. So I'm going to close it. As you can see, it goes off. So we'll go back to the open position. So we're going to leave the power on. And then I like to take a pencil and just give me a little indicating line where to put that one, okay? Because they're real sensitive. All right, so once we get that one ready, we're going to peel off the 3 on tape. We're going to apply this one right there. Okay? So once that one's applied, then we're going to go back to the other side, find where it goes. Just draw a little line. Peel off double-sided tape. Get it lined up. And stick it. That's all it is to setting the trigger up. So, let's close it. And you see it's off. So now that it's in the closed position, we're going to do the closed side. So do the same thing again. Lay the trigger up there. Find out where they line up. Okay, so I'm going to operate it. So now we're open. Now we're closed. So we'll do the same thing again. Take a pencil. Just mark where that one's at. Pull the paper off. Apply it. And we'll do the same thing on the other side. Get it lined up right there. Put a mark. Check it again. Okay. And we'll remove the paper. Apply it. So there's closed, open. That's simple. Okay, next we'll get it installed. Okay, in review, on blast gate number 1, we want to utilize the always open feature. To utilize the always open feature, S3 needs to be in the on position. This is not covered in the current manual. However, to utilize the always open feature, S3 must be in the on position. All other blast gates will be in the off position, which will have them on a 50-second time delay. Okay, now we're going to install the IVAC Pro Tool Advantage. This goes on the power source for each individual tool, I'm going to show how to install it and then to set it up also. So basically, you have the tool. When you take this cover off, as you can see, there's different mounting methods for clearance based off of the size of the wire that you may have. So you have a smaller one here and then a larger one here. So this is a 220 volt planer, has a rather large power cord. So we're going to take it. I'm going to take it all the way out on one side. Okay. And I'm going to use the thicker side here instead of the thinner side. You can see if you got smaller tools that take less power, you can use them on them also. So we're going to take the power cord, slide it in. They recommend leaving these screws loose in case you need to slide this up to be able to dial in where it senses the power. But for today, right now, I'm going to go ahead and just sort of snug it up a little bit so it does not move. It's not real tight, it's just snug. Okay, so now we're going to rotate it back around and give you this nice little tool here. So you want to make sure it's in the off position, okay? This screw right here, that's your sensitivity. So if you bring it all the way down, which this one is already all the way down, okay? It's all the way down. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the planer on and we're going to adjust this until we get a solid red light. Okay, you can see we got a solid red light already. So it sets good voltage right there. So we really don't need to do anything. Okay, it's blinking just a little bit, so I'm going to turn it up just a little bit. That helps keep interference from any of the other tools. All right, so now I'm going to turn the planer back off. Planer's off now. So now we're going to turn this to the auto position. Okay. I'm going to make sure my gate up here is in auto mode. Okay. So I still have to mount my candlestick. But right now, as you can see, it's showing open. This is gate number 1, tool number 1, that defaults to open. The rest of them are all red. So we're going to try it and see what happens. Okay, so now we're going to do an operational test. For this test, I've turned the breaker off to the dust collector so that hopefully you'll be able to hear the contactor when it pulls in and when it releases. So I'm going to turn on the drum sander. When I turn the drum sander on, you'll see the gate here will open. The new 6-inch gate will close, and simultaneously the contactor will pull in, turning the dust collection on. And then once I turn the sander off, you will immediately see gate number 1 open back up. The sander gate for the drum sander 50 seconds. And that's to allow all the dust to be extracted out of the piping for the dust collector. Once that 50 seconds time period has elapsed, then this gate will close back and gate number 1 defaults open. So here we go, all right? So in less than 2 seconds, the gate for the sander opened, the gate number 1 closed, and the contactor pulled in. So now I'm going to turn the sander off and you'll see gate 1 will open back up immediately. So gate 1's open back up now. The dust collector would continue running for 2 minutes. This gate will stay open on the sander for an additional 50 seconds. Gate 1 defaults open. Again, remember that when you're setting up gate 1, you need to go to the gate itself and change dip switch number 3 to the on position. Earlier we talked about setting up the dip switches based off of the setting on the book. Okay, the sander gate. In closing, I would like to mention a couple of things. When considering a purchase for your shop, the IVAC should be considered just like any other tool. You know, you want to do what's best for your shop and what's going to perform the best, and put in an automatic blast gate system that controls your dust collection, to me, is one of the most important things you can do. It helps with your shop cleanliness, being able to keep it clean, but it also helps with your health. What you're breathing in, it keeps the dust down. It helps you utilize the dust collection. Before I did this, there would be a lot of times that I wouldn't walk across the room to turn the dust collector on. I would just cut a board. But now, everything being automated, it makes it so simple. It's one of those things that you don't have to think about. But one of the most important things I'd like to also mention is this system is something that can grow. You do not need to purchase an entire system for your shop initially. You can purchase enough to set up 1 tool or 2 tools, and then just add to it as time and your finances allow. You can add to it. So this video was basically showing how you can put in 1 gate. I was replacing a gate that I had from a 4-inch to a 6-inch, and it's really simple, and you can do that as often as you like and grow your system. So if anyone has any questions as far as the IVAC systems, reach out to IVAC. They have some great folks there. They'll be glad to answer any of your questions, or you can reach out to me and I'll give you any information that I can help provide to you. And again, I hope this video is informational for you. I hope it helps you make a decision. Again, I don't think you'll go wrong utilizing the IVAC system along with the candlesticks.